Welcome to my channel. If you're here, you're probably considering whether to get the Leica Q or the newly released Leica D-Lux 8, which I have here, and I just used teaching a workshop in Singapore with Leica Singapore. So today I'll break down various scenarios to help you decide which camera system might suit your needs as a photographer. Special thanks to my friends over at Wotancraft for sponsoring this episode. They make the coolest camera bags, which you would see in my backdrop. It wasn't such a mess. Construction above me right now, so I'm living out of my home office, but I do have one of their little pouches handy, and I just used it here to travel with my Leica D-Lux 8. It fits nicely in there when you don't want to use a dedicated camera bag. Also, they make one that fits the Leica Q and M system as well. So let me just sort of dive right in by throwing out some different scenarios and different categories, and I'll let you know which camera I think is better for those situations. So which one is the better backup camera? That's a weird one because I know a lot of you just buy the Leica Q and that's it. But for a lot of people out there, we have a collection of cameras. So we like different cameras to slot in and fill gaps. And if you're like me as a professional, you always need to have two cameras on you at all times. You don't always want two of the same cameras. And if you're shooting with Leica, that can get quite expensive. So for me, the D-Lux 8 is the most versatile backup for most situations, especially for those who own other Leica cameras. Like for example, me, I own an M system and M lenses already, and I need a complementary camera, so the D-Lux 8 is an excellent choice for that. I use my M10D for my personal work and even my editorial work, but I also need a lightweight backup on every single shoot I go on. So the D-Lux 8 fits the bill perfectly for that. It's somewhat pocketable, it's extremely light, gives me macro capabilities when I need it, autofocus when I need it sometimes, and even zoom when I occasionally need that as well. It just gives me options that the M doesn't offer. Of course, the M is a way better camera and has better glass, and I use it most of the time, but as a backup, as a complementary camera to the M, it's kind of perfect. Now, the Q system only really slots in as a backup if you shoot, let's say, all zooms with the SL system, and you wanted like a dedicated backup fixed lens street camera or personal camera to travel with, and you didn't mind something a little bit more bulky than the D-Lux 8. It doesn't back up or complement the M system really well, at least it doesn't for me. The next category would be price. Obviously, it's a huge factor for a lot of people, and there's a huge disparity in these two cameras. The Q3 goes for around $6,000, a little bit over $6,000, while the D-Lux 8 is around $1,600. So that makes the decision really easy for many. Yes, you can find a Q2 for under like $4,000, but it's still a huge disparity between the price. The next category would be weather sealing. The Q3 is weather sealed and the D-Lux 8 isn't. So if weather sealing is crucial for you, go with the Q. You're paying for it, but go with the Q. I really do wish that the D-Lux 8 came with weather sealing for peace of mind, because I'm actually using this camera for cycling. I like to take it when I ride my bike, and it's not a deal breaker for me, obviously, because I bought it, but it would be nice if it had weather sealing, but now I have to travel like a weather sealed bag. The next thing to think about is fixed or zoom. If you have the discipline to move around to get the perfect shot, the discipline that it requires to use a fixed lens properly, let me say that, the Q is for you. However, if you prefer the flexibility of a zoom lens, the D-Lux 8 has, some people don't like that, but it does have the equivalent of a 24-70, so it does offer that versatility. I'm not normally a big zoom guy, but that's what I use my M for. I have a fixed 35 in that camera, a fixed 50, but occasionally I like to have a zoom, so again, this slots in quite nicely there when I need it. The next thing to factor in, though, is the Q's fixed lens is a 28mm lens, which really isn't for everyone. I've seen people struggle with it, often ending up with too much negative space or unintentional elements in their shots, because they simply don't put the time in to fill the frame, and they don't put the time in to master a fixed lens. At a 28, the wider the harder. The 28 is really hard to master. It's not very natural for a lot of people. Some it is, but in my opinion, 28mm is not a great fixed focal length. I like a 35 because I feel I can also do portraits, and I can shoot a full story, a full project with a 35. I mean, look at my website, look at my Kindred Guardians work. All of that was shot with a fixed 35 that was just exhibited with Leica Singapore. I don't think I could have pulled off shooting all that with a 28. It's just a little bit too wide for my taste. The next thing to consider is image quality. The Q has superior optics and a better sensor all the way across. But for many people out there, the difference might not be that significant. It is a significant difference. I've found the images that I've taken so far with the D-Lux 8 could easily be printed, and I'd feel very comfortable having them published if I shot an assignment with it. So Yes, there is a significant difference, but you have to ask yourself, do you care about, do you need that difference, and is it worth it to pay for that difference? Moving on to build quality, both cameras have an excellent build quality and they feel great in your hand. The Q is bulkier, but both are beautifully designed and feel nice around your neck, feel nice in your hand for the entire day. Well, I have to say I was extremely impressed with the design and the feel for this camera that's under $2,000. Still expensive compared to other brands, but a lot cheaper than the Q. Which is the better travel camera? Your choice of travel camera really depends on your shooting style and your intention when you travel and how you like to shoot. If you take your time and are intentional with your shots and with your photography, meaning like you put the time in to go out and shoot travel pictures when you're on vacation, the Q will offer you better overall image quality. It's a better sensor, it's better optics. However, if you prefer a camera that's more accessible, that you can use on the go, the D-Lux is ideal for that. It doesn't require a dedicated camera bag, it offers zoom capabilities, still maintains really good image quality. Probably good enough image quality for anyone's travel photos. I mean, if it's good enough for me to use on assignment, I think it's good for most people to use for their travel photos. I just want to take a quick moment to thank today's sponsor, Wotancraft. They are my go-to choice for camera bags since they launched their company many years ago. I just got their entire collection of these cool little pouches. They are perfect for both the Q and the D-Lux 8. They make 3 different sizes. So when you just want to stuff like a small camera in a pouch, or in your plane bag, or in your normal backpack and travel around with you, it's ideal for that. Sometimes I don't want a dedicated camera bag. If you do want a dedicated camera bag, which I often need as well on professional assignments, I'm going out with more of my gear, check out their full list of their Pilot Series modular bags. And if you're interested, use the affiliate link below. And even if you're not interested right now in buying a camera bag, give them a follow, give them some love for sponsoring a channel like mine, which isn't all about gear, but rather mostly about helping people with their photography. So give them some love, add them on Instagram, @Wotancraft, and tell them Justin sent you. Moving on to which is the better camera for street photography. Well, this is gonna have the same answer as I had for travel photography. For street photography, it really depends on your shooting style. If you really wanna be extremely discreet and you don't like to get close to people, well, the D-Lux 8 has the zoom, and it's also smaller. It doesn't look as professional as the Q, doesn't read photographer as quickly as the Q might, but it's not a huge difference. If you really care about sensor quality and image quality, yeah, the Q's gonna be a better camera for that. If you like the fixed lens experience, it's obviously a lot better than the D-Lux 8 for that. It's also a little bit bulkier. It's not gonna fit in your pocket as easy. I'm not gonna say the D-Lux 8 is like pocketable for most pants, but it can work with like baggy pants. But that's really a tough one. It really depends on your style of street photography. If it had a fixed 35, I would say it's a way better street photography camera than the D-Lux 8. But since it's a 28, and I don't personally love a 28, I don't think it's great for that. Overall, if you don't mind a 28, I think shooting with a fixed lens will make you a better photographer. That's why I shoot most of my stuff with my M camera and my 35mm. And again, I'm using the D-Lux as more of a backup camera for different specific use cases. So in conclusion, ultimately both cameras have their strengths and cater to different types of photographers shooting different ways and shooting different things. Even within the same genre, we all shoot in different ways. So personally, the D-Lux 8 fits a lot more use cases than the Q series does for me. If you offered me both cameras, which to take with me, I mean, if you offer to give me both, I'll take the Q because I can sell it and make more money out of it. But if you said like you can only have one in your lineup and price doesn't matter, I'd still take the D-Lux 8. The Q is a fantastic camera. If you're just gonna have one camera, maybe it's a better choice if you don't mind shooting with a fixed lens, and if you wanna grow into a camera and appreciate a better sensor and better optics, sure, it has that. In the end, just consider your needs, consider your shooting style, consider your budget, and that'll help guide your choice. I've only had the D-Lux 8 for a couple days, but I absolutely love it. I have so many different use cases for it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to check out my online store at askmott.com. I've got a variety of one-on-one classes. You can check out my upcoming workshops. I've got a workshop this December in Vietnam, workshop experience of a lifetime. Check all the details out at Ask Mott or just follow the link in the description box below. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to have a wonderful day.